Here's a piece that has some watercolor on it, the gray and the moon, and it's got some cerulean blue acrylic on it for the night sky. I work fast a lot of the time. See something like I just saw this moon rise and decide to do something about it. But then I didn't have time to finish it. So I'm trying to finish it today. I'm going to finish it in a couple of other acrylic colors. Now, many people have had the same experience I have of you use a blue and you think it's a light blue, you put it on and it's too dark. Cerulean blue is very often like that. But this is a night piece, so it works. The little dots that are in the painting, like this and that, are planes coming in at San Francisco Airport. So I'm going to a slightly darker blue, and then I will finish up with a even darker color. I'm not sure this one's dark enough for what I want to do, but I'm going to bring this down into the ultimate foreground. This is some more water, and this one is called Cerulean Blue Deep. Now, I am also using whatever I happen to have around. Sometimes it's really good to do stuff like that. There's a lot of videos out today and they're cool 5-minute paintings. It's enough time to give people an idea what's going on and also to inspire people to do something of their own. Okay, now that's that part of it. Maybe I'm going to put a little bit of this in the sky just to darken it, and also sometimes it's good in a painting to have a particular color in more than one spot. Okay.
It looks a little more greenish.
It may be. It is. And that may be the manufacturer or whatever. And I'm going to do something around here and some plain water. Just plain water does all kinds of wonderful stuff. Okay. Now, I'm going to take the darkest blue and attempt to do the rest of the piece with that. This is a dry dock. The reason I said attempt is that this is an acrylic I haven't used for a really long time, and it had a really hard crust on it when I opened the jar. That's something that happens with acrylics sometimes. Watercolors, when they get old, they tend to separate, but they have to be really, really old to do that. I'm a big fan of using up what you've got, because that is when actually we make discoveries. And especially these days with COVID being around, we might prefer to use up what we've got, order or go to an art store, but and that's always wonderful, of course, I love it, but there's nothing like just discovery that happens when you're using whatever happens to be around. Now I'm going to get the brush really, really wet take some of this and come in over here. This is an industrial scene at Hunters Point Shipyard in San Francisco, where my studio is. And that's why the buildings that you're seeing are quite rectilinear. I'm going to go over onto the other side of the painting right now and make this building the same kind of dark color as the dry dock that I just finished. So a couple of windows there, and this is an experiment beyond what I usually experiment with, since this paint is extremely old and dry, and I've got to move past the camera again so that I can get some more water on the brush. I have been asked how I do these pieces, because when they work, they're very fresh and creative. And my answer is simply just get in there and use up stuff that you've got around. Forget about what you've learned. I try to forget about it. Of course, it's right there for you to pick up on at any moment. And here I go, crossing in front of there again. This is a little bit of land in there, and then a little bit more clear water, and then I'm going to put a few dots of red in for that land, and that is going to be it. So you might want to stop filming for just a moment. So you may remember that I referred to COVID a moment ago. Another thing about COVID is I let my hair grow really long, and evidently it's been interfering with the picture. That's how it is. Now, I meant right there to only do some blue to blend the blue and the yellow together, and it didn't work because the acrylic had dried. So this is some watercolor that I'm adding, and you can see that I'm working on a printmaking paper, and it doesn't like me rubbing it. That is some of the paper coming off. It's a wonderful paper, but it doesn't like me playing with it. So I'm going to add just a bit more water, and then I'm going to quit playing with it. That, for better or for worse, is that in that area. Okay. Now I am going to add a few highlights with some red watercolor. And why am I using watercolor? Because I just happen to have it out. And I'm just going to put some red dots in here and in there, and I'm almost going to say that's it, only it's not working. So I am going to squeeze out some yellow watercolor This is from a tube that the top, it's a very fine brand, but all the same, the top has cracked, meaning that the watercolor has dried out a lot more than I would like. But that's just how it is. So now this is what color watercolor have I got here? Permanent Yellow Deep. I just gotta do something. Maybe that's it. Maybe a little more. Okay. Now, of course, doing something up there like that, you need to carry that forward a little bit somewhere, so there's some more of it. Ooh, got a little blue in there. And then, because we often have problems with stuff looking like it's, quote, falling out of the picture, I'm adding a little bit more yellow down there so that it will look like I planned it, and if I have any success whatsoever, I'll be able to get this blob of yellow water off. There. Okay, for better or for worse, that's it. Thank you very much.
I can totally see why you added that yellow around the moon, and then I could see why you added it to the little area where the red dots are, and then in the foreground too. It just seems to really help.
Yeah.